This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Tuesday, October 13th, 2020, and it's the Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, it's Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Austin, Texas, author and podcaster Jamie Ivey.
Hey, guys.
And from Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
My internet connection sucks, so I'm sorry, guys. Hey.
That's a new one. I've heard that intro before. All right, guys, it's October 13th. It is middle of October. This is full-on pumpkin latte time. But I have a question for y'all because in 2 weeks is Halloween, and I have a kid, and I don't know if we're supposed to trick or treat. Like, what are y'all's thoughts about that? Are you all participating? Are you going to even get candy for the kids who do participate? What are y'all doing?
Well, here's the thing. Even before trick-or-treating, there's another huge dilemma that we need to talk about, too, with Halloween. It's, when my family does Halloween, we like to be culturally, relevant. We want to do something timely.
What do you mean?
They'll do family costumes, like everyone, a theme.
Yes. Last year we were the Avengers.
You participate?
Oh, in my neighborhood, the grown-ups are all dressed up, too.
You know what I go as every year? The adult. Wow. I
go. Here's the thing. I like to do stuff that's like I remember it was messed up, and I think in the hindsight we can all laugh about it now. But remember that year that Cecil the lion was hunted by that dentist, and it was like someone went as Cecil the lion and someone went as like a dentist with a rifle, and they were hunting. It was funny. It was timely, ripped from the headlines. And I was thinking, okay, I like to do stuff that people are like, oh, that's a great culture, or like I like to dress up as like a meme. I like something that's. And I was talking about it the other day with my family. We were trying to figure out what our costume's going to be. Is the only thing that we all have this year Tiger King that we can laugh at? Is that it? Is it just Tiger King, or else just go back to 2019 and pick something from then?
What are you going to do from Tiger King if you're not the Tiger King? Are you going to be the guy with no legs, the guy with no arm? I mean, what are you going to...
I was going to be, obviously, Joe Exotic. Dana would... Obviously,
Carol Baskin.
Would be Carol Baskin. Carol Baskin.
And then you need a tiger.
Well, my two kids would be tigers.
Okay,
and there we go. They get to dress up as animals,
bro. That's kind of fire.
And we're the Tiger King, and everyone. But you know what?
Where do you buy a glittery pink sequined cowboy hat, though? To be
just go to Party City. They're gonna. I guarantee you, they've got a Tiger King face you could probably put on your face.
The store in the mall that sells like the affliction gear, I guarantee you has a bedazzled cowboy hat. 100%. I can guarantee it. Like the buckle at the mall, they're definitely going to have something like. But how many Tiger Kings are we going to have walking around on Halloween night? It's all we got this year. It's all we got.
Although, if you think about it, doesn't Tiger King? When you said this year, I was like, oh, that wasn't 3 years ago. That was this year. The Tiger King came out. Remember, that's what we were all watching, and now it's crazy.
Hey, listen, we'll watch Tiger King, then coronavirus will be over.
Exactly.
That's simple as that. Exactly. That's what everyone's thinking. But again, like in other years, there was all these things that were happening in pop culture every week. There's been no movies, no new TV shows. There's been nothing shared other than like a bummer, pandemic stuff. Tiger King's all we got this year. Am I wrong? Like the other, my kids one, we like that. And I know, Cameron, you didn't like it, but the Will Ferrell movie Eurovision on Netflix, we're like, we'll all dress up as characters for that. And it's like, nobody's going to get it. I don't know. I don't think anybody saw it. The only thing everybody's going to get is Tiger King. That is literally the only thing.
Jesse, you could get one of those big, clear, inflatable circles that people roll, roll down hills and go as the NBA bubble.
Yeah, I could wear a jersey and
just
one of those big hamster things.
Yeah, big hamster ball.
Yeah. Do you want to tell? The other day we were talking about Halloween costumes, and I think I've told you guys this before. Halloween's my least favorite holiday. I hate it.
Why?
I wish I could just sleep through it. I don't know, all the gorging of the candy. It just, I don't know. I don't like it. I have issues. But anyhow, I was standing in the kitchen the other day, and my daughter, she's like planning her costume. Okay, so she's doing it, and she goes, "Mom, I have an idea what you should be for Halloween." And I don't dress up, so I don't know why she thought all of a sudden I'm gonna start dressing up for Halloween. She said, "You should be a teen mom." And I said,
sheesh.
What? I said,
sheesh.
But a teen mom, I said, do you think that might be maybe mean? I'm like, I didn't have kids when I was a teenager. She goes, no, you're a mom and you have teenagers. And that's what she meant was like, and so then I was like, oh, just be me? Like I could just walk around like myself. But she totally had never even heard that phrase before. And I thought she was out here like making fun of someone who has a baby when they're a teenager. And I'm like, no, babe, I can't do that. And she's like, no, you have four teenagers.
Yeah, well, I thought you were talking about like the reality show. Like, oh, I'll be a character from Teen Mom.
No, she hasn't even seen it. No, she's thinking because I'm a mom to 4 teenagers that I'm a teen mom.
Derek, do you dress up?
No. Nah, first off, there's not enough costumes that would fit me because I'm a very large man. It is. It's not. I was just acting stupid. But, if you want to wear spandex, I just don't think people would want to see me in spandex. And the only thing I would dress up as is superheroes.
Okay, so
I can totally see you dressed up as a superhero, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like you like Batman. Why aren't you rocking a huge Batman outfit?
Be black,
like one of those like $600 ones that's got like the real muscles and stuff.
There's no way in heaven or hell that I'm going to spend $600 on a costume. It's just not going to happen. I'm too cheap for that.
Cameron, 2 years ago, I took that jumpsuit that they gave us at space camp that had all the patches.
Jesse and I went to space camp, and they gave us flight suits.
And I made a big tag that said like a rank in Space Force, and I carried around Nerf guns. And I was like, I'm Space Force. Yeah. It was a hit. Hit.
That's like, if I have to do an outfit, I've got that in my closet, and I'll just whip out the space camp, flight suit for, I'll put on like a bomber jacket, and I'm a Space Force captain or something.
Yeah,
but I'm not doing
I
that.
know you guys did this. Did y'all ever do the Halloween thing where you dressed up like Bible characters and everybody just came to church?
Everybody looks exactly the same.
Yes, they just came to church dressed in their bed sheets.
Yeah, there's like a bed sheet.
Not like the KKK
who
way,
are you?
but
Abraham? Nope. Peter? Nope. Moses. There you are, Moses.
Yeah. Oh, is that? Are you Noah? No. It really doesn't matter. I got it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was
trunk or treat.
Awful.
Why did churches ruin holidays? Like New Year's Eve was the worst at my church because they would have service, and we'd have to be sitting there, and we'd be in the back row, like just counting down to midnight, and the sermon's going on, or he's talking, and he blows right through midnight. It's like 12:04. Nobody even paid attention. It's like, what's the point of this? We're just tired. We're not even celebrating the New Year.
No, our church was like, when it got to about 11:50. All right, everybody, get down and pray. And I'm talking about it's a bunch of black people praying in tongues at the top of
the new year.
And then it's like 3, 2, 1, hallelujah! It's just tears and snot and everything. And it's just like, hallelujah! People running around and musicians, playing shouting music. I mean, I don't know if that's y'all's experience.
I'd go to that. That'd be fun.
That joint was wild.
Our church, we would have a Super Bowl party, but they wouldn't show the commercials.
Dude, I was just going to say that. They play worship songs during the commercials.
Because it's like beer and I don't know. And so they would like turn everything off during the commercials and then turn it back on when the commercials were over.
They would play worship songs during the commercials. The one I went to, and I was like, this is a huge mistake. Like, I'm not opposed to worship music, and I'm not opposed to Super Bowl commercials, but there's no need, like, we don't need to break into the worship service. I just saw like Tom Brady throw, I want to see the replay. Let me just do 3 verses of As the Deer, and then we'll get back into it. Okay. Everyone just relax.
Oh, that sounds so bad.
I remember as a kid, we had an evangelist visit us at the house, and we were watching college football, and he's a visitor. Like my parents have known him since college, but like I've never met this guy before. And we're watching football. I was in high school, and when the game went to commercial, he got up and muted our television.
Oh,
like he would just mute it. He said, in my house, we don't watch commercials. We actually have above our television, we have a sheet that we pull down for 3 minutes during the commercial break, and then we'll put it back up. We don't allow our children to watch commercials. And I'm like, well, that's your house. That's not my house.
Your house, bro.
I like college football commercials.
My kids are obsessed with commercials.
Yeah.
My son will come up. come up to me, they will say stuff like, "Hey, Dad, I don't know if you realize this. There's only 3 days left in Toyotathon, so I just want to kind of put that on your. I saw it on TV today. It's a big beer for Toyotathon. Like, he doesn't make the distinction between commercials and what is like just interpreted as like news, you know. And he's like, Dad, it's 50% less sugar in." Everyone's talking about it. Saw it on TV.
I was a sucker for Saturday morning cartoons and the commercials. I mean, commercials were very formative. I'm in media now. I love commercials. I love marketing, stuff like that. I think the biggest loss with this whole streaming cord cutting era is that kids aren't growing up with Saturday morning cartoons anymore. And they have like those commercial breaks and the dumb like toy commercials and the game commercials and all this stuff. That was a big part of my childhood.
I think commercials now are some of the like most entertaining things on TV. I giggle all the time at commercials.
Social media is a commercial.
You know what's funny about that? And I was reading something, I think it was like Chuck Klosterman wrote about the difference between like the current generation, and Derek, I'm interested in your perspective on this, compared to like, you know, where what would be considered like a lot of the cultural icons from like Gen X were so against commercialism. Like they didn't want their songs on like a commercial, or they didn't want, you know, their tours sponsored by whoever. It's like selling out, and how the concept for modern culture makers of selling out, it's like, well, selling out's the whole point. I'm supposed to be an Instagram influencer. I'm supposed to get sponsored. I'm supposed to like,
I mean, the primary revenue source for bands is licensing and getting a song on a commercial.
And that was the point, is like, even the idea, if you told someone now who's like a young creator, like, hey man, you don't want to, you know, I don't know if you want to do that. I don't know if you want to sell out. It's like that concept. What do you mean sell out? Like the entire point has now
monetize this.
Our whole concept of art, culture, and commercialism has shifted. And a lot of it, there's probably a lot of factors, but you know, I think Instagram influencers, I think just the nature of how music and entertainment, it's commoditized now. It's not a lot of physical property exchanging hands. It's, you know, alternative revenue streams. But it is interesting that our whole perception of commercialism has changed. Derek, as an artist, have you seen that shift?
Man, look, it's so little money in music that if you don't have your stuff in commercials, you're gonna be broke. Like if you don't have someone sponsor your tour, the tour's not going to happen, or you're not going to make any money, because it's just so little money in music right now. I mean, streaming definitely set things back a little bit. I mean, it's different when, you know, you're selling records, and imagine this, everybody paying $20 for a CD or something like that per record like that. That was when the money was flowing. But like now, I mean, you see people, I guess, quote unquote, selling out in that way because you need money. Like there's no way you're going to do this without that level of money. So
I remember in the early 2000s, one of my Christian rapper friends, he was playing 100 people shows. I mean, he was just, you know, barely scraping by, hustle. And then his song got picked up by a Kit Kat commercial. And I remember he made 50 grand from that one little clip. And it was like more money than he made hustling an entire year of touring and all that kind of stuff. It was like life-changing money for him, like career-changing money for him. And it's like, that's the goal as a musician, is to like get placement and, you know, all that. So crazy.
Man, I've had my stuff used in so many different commercials and sports things. I'm like, use it up, because that's where the money's at. So, but I think also the kids today want something different. They don't want the anti-hero. They want the guy that is killing it in all aspects. Like Travis Scott just did a McDonald's release, or J Balvin just did a McDonald's release, and that just takes the star power to another level. So they don't want the anti-hero anymore. They want that guy that's doing that.
You know how effective that was? My 10-year-old was like, Dad, can we go get the Travis Scott meal? I really want to get the Travis Scott meal. I'm like, we don't eat at McDonald's. He's like, I know, but it's limited time. We got to go get the Travis Scott meal. I took him to get a Travis Scott meal.
Could you imagine back in the day, right? Like Nas hey, I want to go to McDonald's, get the Nas meal.
Or
it's like
Madonna,
Nas would be like,
or like,
they would be like, well, especially like I feel like on, outside of kind of core pop music, like in hip hop and, at that time, like kind of like alt rock. It was like,
there's a Nirvana meal.
Nirvana would be like
a KFC.
Is this a joke? Yeah. Or I feel like someone even like that kind of like Mob Deep or something. Oh, let's get the Mob Deep McDonald's. They're like, screw that, man. We're real. We're the real, it is just changed dramatically.
When Drake, I remember when Drake, he had that Sprite commercial.
That was it. It changed everything.
And that made people so mad. People called Drake a sellout. I mean, they were like on him. They're like, you could have did this without that money and da-da-da-da. But I'm like, man, I mean, it's a Sprite commercial, bro. Like, are we not in this to make money?
And he owned it too. I mean, several albums later, he's still rapping about that Sprite spot. Like basically telling his haters to like, man. All right,
Absolutely.
Well, moving the show along, we have a great one in store for you today. Coming up later, one of our favorite up-and-coming worship bands, Housefires, is joining us. They're from Atlanta, and we'll introduce you to them if you don't know their music. It's going to be a good one. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's Slices.
Tired and free, forgotten what's paid, so I'll hide in my shame. Like an orphan in chains, I ran from my promise, but it's never enough, 'cause my walls and my...
You're listening to Judah. The song is Just Because, a new worship song. Found pretty good. Well, today's show is brought to you by UHSM. These days, finding affordable, quality healthcare is more difficult than ever. So if you're looking to save up to 50% on your healthcare expenses, listen up. You don't have to wait around hoping healthcare will improve in the U.S. Instead, why not join millions of Christians who are choosing health share memberships like UHSM? UHSM is a nonprofit Christian health share with the sole mission of helping you achieve your best health. Protect your health with modern health sharing from UHSM, including programs with prescription benefits from CVS Caremark, no-cost telehealth visits, and access to 1 million doctors and providers. You can satisfy your medical needs and save up to 50% with UHSM Health Share. UHSM is member-to-member health sharing, and it's awesome. See why millions are choosing this Christian alternative to traditional insurance. You can ask if you qualify for a UHSM membership today by calling or texting 833-367-8476. That's 833-367-8476 or 833-367-UHSM. Or if you're more online-ish, you can visit uhsm.com/care. That's uhsm.com/care. All right, it's time for
Slices.
All right, what do you have, Jesse?
All right, so I always appreciate when someone figures out how to do something differently that it's always done the same, particularly when it comes to entertainment, right?
What?
Okay, so like shooting a movie, it's usually done around the same way, right? You write a script for it, you storyboard it, you have a director, you set up scenes, actors read lines. But I think it's cool when people try to reinvent things that, like I said, there's a pretty firm structure for how they're typically created. And that's what's going to happen with a new thriller that's in the works called My Son. The plot, this is from Deadline. In My Son, when a man's only son go missing, he travels to the town where his ex-wife lives in search of answers. So sort of like a Taken type of situation, plot-wise. The thing is, other than the basic premise of the plot, the main leads in the movie, who are James McAvoy and Claire Foy, they won't know any lines and they won't know what they're walking into any scene. So all the extras, all the camera people know what the scenes are. They have a script. The two main leads have never seen a script. So they're gonna be put into a scene in character and have to genuinely react and genuinely talk like normal people talk without any script. And the character will have to, it's almost like some scenes, it sounds like will be set up almost sort of like, kind of escape room style where they have to, in character uncover the clues. And so but the idea is a totally alternate way of making a movie that's a lot more close to shooting a scene. Like that's basically kind of how they shoot Curb, like Curb Your Enthusiasm is like, they'll put two actors like in a car and be like, okay, by the end of this scene, you guys need to talk about this, and this, and get here as the resolution. That's way more than these actors will be giving. They're just going to be putting into a scene and told to react. And the idea is it's going to, kind of have a fresh feel for a thriller. They actually did the same film that had a French version that was really successful, and the same director is going to be doing this higher budget one. What do you guys think in terms of like a concept for making a movie like
That's
this?
amazing. I think that's
This
great.
feels scary. This makes me anxious.
It could be terrible.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
James McAvoy is such a great actor. I feel like he'll own something like that. He'll kill it.
Jamie, what gives you anxiety about it?
Well, things like we're like, there's no plan. Let's just all go in here, do it. I just think of all the things that could go wrong. That's just my personality.
Have you ever been to an improv comedy show?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
What?
No.
They're amazing.
I should go.
Yeah. You should go.
You should.
No, it just feels like, it's either, I feel like this is going to be like, this is amazing. I can't believe this happened. Or what the heck were they thinking? Because this is a flop.
Yeah, there's no in between ground on this one. Like an improv comedy show.
Right.
They're either the best, funniest thing you've ever seen or absolutely horrendous. There's no in between.
Well, that's what In Living Color was. Like, it's all improv. Like,
Is that kind of like what was it Drew Carey that had a show where he did improv?
Whose line is improv
anyway?
comedy.
Whose line is
Okay,
it
so
anyway?
that's what I've seen, you guys. Yeah.
But the cool thing about this is the director essentially did a test run with this for like a small budget French film. So I think they've worked out the production kinks. But I think
maybe it works in French.
Yeah, exactly. It's only when they're speaking French. It's much more yes and. Yeah. But I do think it's kind of a fresh approach because it also, like, there are some filmmakers like Judd Apatow, for example. He shoots, basically 5 movies worth of stuff every movie he shoots because he just lets the actors riff. Like for Step Brothers, there are scenes where it's just Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly doing totally different scenes. It's like take 2, and it's a totally different scene because my
favorite are the outtakes of like when they're laying in bed next to each other in the twin beds, and clearly just Will Ferrell's just riffing. Yeah, and like John C. Reilly's, trying to hang with him.
Talladega Nights, man. Like those outtakes were crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, so you take that in the juxtaposition of someone like Wes Anderson, where every line of dialogue is scripted down to the vocal pause. Like Wes Anderson is sort of an auteur who knows exactly what he's looking for. Or then you look at some of the Duplass brothers mumblecore movies, where a lot of those scenes with Jake Johnson and whoever are essentially improv dialogue, but to take it back to say, we're not just improving the dialogue. You don't know plot wise what's happening. Your job is we're going to test your skills as an actor and for you to react. I think it's kind of cool.
I think it's dope.
I'd be curious how many takes they get. Cause obviously the first take, they're completely blind. But then if they have to do 2, 3, 4, change the cameras, all that kind of stuff.
What you're saying is like the 5th take, they know there's not.
Yeah, it's like it loses
anymore.
something. But the first take could be absolutely terrible. So I don't know.
From what I understand, it's going to be as close to one take as possible to keep the reactions genuine. But I will say this: the plot it basically sounds like not dissimilar from Taken, and it's like I've seen it, but I probably will want to see this just to kind of see how it comes out.
Yeah, for sure.
Knowing that,
for sure.
All right, what do you have, Derek?
So we have 2 ladies, Emmanuel Chapertener. I'm probably butchering their name, but
I think you nailed it.
Is that Emmanuel?
I have no idea.
Forget you jerk. No, I'm playing. Jennifer Doudna and Emmanuel Charpentier. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Emmanuel Charpentier have just won the Nobel Prize for science, and it's the CRISPR gene editing and chemistry development is what they've been building. I guess they've been building this since 2010. And the idea of it is like, say there's like, I would say maybe Parkinson's disease, like they could go in and edit out whatever it is in your genetics or in your DNA that allows that disease to thrive. So this is it's a game changing type science. Because, as far as when we're thinking about like when you think about all these genetic diseases, they'll be able to edit that out. But it also brings in a lot of ethical issues as far as just earlier last year in China, there were 2 twin babies born where they literally used this science or this CRISPR to be able to edit these children's genes to edit out. I think it was some sort of sickness that the kids were going to be born with, and they edited it out. So it brought up all kind of like human rights things. So I think this is the world we're in.
They do that in utero? Like in utero, they go in, or what do you?
So I guess it's in utero. Yeah. So they go in and if, I guess they say, hey, these kids are predisposed to these type of genetic diseases, they will go in, edit the genes, put the babies back in, or I don't know how they would do it, but it's insane. But I think that our world is crazy, especially when you think about last week when we're talking about security drones, AI. Now we're talking about gene editing. And this is like, it's becoming mainstream. Like the big issue now is how do we commercialize it? And that's kind of scary, the idea of commercializing gene editing.
Well, I mean, there's a couple. I mean, think about the bioethics ramifications are enormous, the playing God side of it and all that. But think about the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
Like the haves will potentially be able to afford to go in and perfect their offspring, which then will perpetuate kind of that race in a way. And then like the have-nots, won't have that opportunity. And so the separation culturally will be enormous. But from a Christian standpoint, you just got to start talking about like God's intent with humanity. Playing God is a dangerous role for humans to be in,
But it's also, I mean, and that's the challenge with any sort of technological innovation when it involves, medical breakthroughs, because like if it's someone who, like, for example, instead of treating a disease that someone is born with, we can just literally edit. We can look at the gene sequence because of the enzymes that they've identified that they use in CRISPR. I think the C in CRISPR is that enzyme. They can use that essentially like scissors to cut that out of the genes and use other things to kind of fill in the gap. So like, let's say it would be someone that had like cerebral palsy or something like that, like
or Down syndrome
or I mean, but the question, comes, there's a lot of questions, but there's also a lot of potential to prevent people from, having to suffer with
unnecessary suffering.
So it is.
Like, I'm not a Christian scientist. I go to the doctor, and if somebody has cancer, they should get treated for it. I mean, I'm not saying that we just, que sera, sera, don't treat this stuff. It's just, there is this huge gray area, and the church needs to be talking about this bioethically. Like the church needs to be in this conversation because technology and science is just going as far as it can. And the ethical question of should we needs to be part of the conversation of can we,
and it's not coming. It's here. That's the thing.
Right.
That's right. Like most of the time people are like, yo, this is coming down the pipe. It's like, no, someone just won a Nobel Prize for this. It's not coming. It's here. And the scary part about it for me is two things are really, really terrifying. One is that the church has marred itself so much in ethics. That's like, we don't want to hear anything. You can't even talk about racism correctly. Like, don't talk to us about gene editing. Like, just go play by yourself in the corner and go into your bubble. And another thing that's scary about this in general, like think about the internet. The internet has potential for so much good, but most of it, and this is statistically proven, is used for pornography. Like it's just like it's like you have
something so good.
It's so dope. It's just boiled down to just, let's find the most awful thing we could think of to use it for.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, if that happens with this, the possibilities are endless in a very bad way.
Well, and not only that, there's a profound lack of understanding of basic, scientific innovation, particularly. I don't think it's isolated to religious communities, but I mean, you see something like an issue like stem cell research, right? And a lot of Christians out of principle will say, I'm against stem cell research. And then you're like, well, I think you're actually against embryonic stem cell research, which involves the destruction of human embryos, where they can now extract stem cells from amniotic fluid, and there's no ethical concerns with that. But I mean, but again, the like Regeneron, which was in the news because it was one of the treatment methods that they gave to President Trump when he was, suffering from coronavirus, is created with embryonic stem cell research, right? Like embryonic stem cells are used in that treatment. And anytime that happens, destruction of human embryos are required.
Wow.
But again, all I'm saying is there's a lot of nuance to this stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like for Christians to either take the position of ignore it or at least not allow themselves to fully understand the nuances of a lot of this, it really makes them incapable of developing an informed opinion that's based on, any kind of like Christian ethic.
That's right.
That's good.
All right. What do you have, Jamie?
Man, I'm going to end us on a good note, you guys, because I don't know about you guys. We said we weren't doing political stuff last week, and this is not necessarily political, but there's something that I have been really trying to lean into my own life is this idea of unity as Christians, that there are going to be people voting on both sides of the ticket.
Who are you voting for?
Oh, you mean just say that? Okay.
Kanye. She's voting for Kanye.
I'm voting for Kanye. But I love it when I see people in media say we can be friends and vote for different people. And I saw this story. It's local here in Austin. And then I saw CNN picked it up recently of these two women who are best friends and neighbors. One of them is an avid Trump supporter and one is an avid Biden supporter. And they started to see what a lot of us have seen, if you hang out on Facebook or Twitter ever, is people were being so mean. And in their neighborhood Facebook group, people were actually unfriending people and telling them they hated them just because of who they voted for. And so these two cute little neighbor ladies, Marnie and Tasha, they got together and they took these photos. One has all her Trump gear on, one has all her Biden gear on, and they put it on their neighborhood Facebook group and they said, we can do better. They said, we can do better than this. And they said people reacted really well to their thing they put up on Facebook. And they told their friends on Facebook, just because one person decides to vote for one political party does not make them or their family necessarily bad people. That goes both ways. Politics are important, but they are not everything. So I'm ending us on a high note of these ladies here in Cedar Park outside of Austin, Texas, who are saying we can be better than this.
I think you should reenact the photo. Which outfit would you be wearing again, Jamie?
Again, she'd be decked out in Yeezys.
I had a really big conversation with my husband the other day about whether or not we think leaders should tell who they're voting for. We don't have time to talk about that today, but that was a discussion we had at our house.
I'll get it out of you before November 3rd on this show. All right, well, that'll do it for
Slices.
Stay tuned. Up next, Housefires joins us. You're listening to Gene Dawson. The song is Starface. Well, today's episode is brought to you by podcast creation platform Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor yet, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's free. There are custom tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and every major platform. The cool thing is you can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. My high school nickname. Well, the Atlanta worship band Housefires has been creating worship music since 2014 with songs like Build My Life and I'll Give Thanks. This collective creates songs with the intention of sparking a fire in the hearts of everyone who listens. Our very own Tyler Huckabee sat down with the group to talk about their music and what's been bringing them joy these days. Here's part of our conversation with Housefires.
There is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in love to the holy.
Something we always love to unpack in everything we do is that very liturgy of life type of thing where it's in our normal every day. You know, Nate just had a baby. I had a baby too. Our babies are actually about to be 1 year old. So and this fall, they'll both be 1 year. So we've had like a pandemic year of like being in our life in a way that maybe we might have been in some ways too busy to notice some things about the holiness of everything and the holiness of every moment. So that part's been a gift. But man, yeah, I mean, worship is amazing individually, obviously, but there's just something powerful that happens when you're in community with people, and there's that kinetic thing that's happening. Someone asked the other day on our staff something about how much of worship is kinetic, you know, and even when we're together and socially distanced, it just doesn't feel like it's clicking like it used to. It's because we do things together.
Yeah.
And that's definitely more obvious than ever right now.
So I'll give thanks to God when I don't have enough, 'cause He's more than enough, and He knows what I need. I'll give thanks to God when I don't have enough, 'cause He's more than enough, and He knows what I need.
The idea essentially was just, why don't we do a whole record of songs we've just written with some of our favorite people, friends that are family to us, that we've been in writing rooms with and lived our lives with. Why don't we just invite them into our monthly worship night where we record everything, and let's just co-lead songs that we wrote together. And I just, there is something really powerful, that collaborative thing right now that God's doing in the church, and the blurring of genre lines and just, oh, this was that and that is this. Like, we just were like, man, we've written these powerful songs that have moved us and moved our little communities and our families. Like, let's just invite some of those people in that we wrote them with and just go for it. And so that was, that was how the album was birthed. And we would just do it month to month.
We didn't intend for it to be an album necessarily. We were just like, hey, we should start recording all of our worship nights. Hey, and also we're writing amazing songs with these amazing new friends. Why don't we invite them to come too? It'll be revitalizing for us and revitalizing for the community. And then all of a sudden we had an album, maybe more than an album worth of songs recorded. Until almost like halfway through, we were like, okay, this can be a thing.
There's no loss in you, oh, you. There's no desperate you, oh, you. I am falling deeper still for you, and there's no loss in you.
There's a song that Alyssa Smith from Upper Room came and sang with us. It's called Lovesick. That felt like a really special night. It just felt really sweet and subdued, and that's one of my favorites. And it wasn't like a single that we released or, one that we necessarily had to put a bunch of intentionality in on our side, but it was just too beautiful of a moment not to put on the record. I think that same night, Nate, did you have that moment after This Is a Move that was so awesome too?
Yeah, so that moment on the record is called Have Your Way. And it was just a spontaneous song, unplanned, just singing off the page. And man, that was a special moment for me because, I mean, I don't know. I just got hit with something, man. I don't know what it was. But you're in these worship moments, these living, breathing moments with God, and you're inspired and your heart is moved, or I don't know. I just really felt God in a special way in that room, and felt like I was feeling the wind blow in the room, like the Spirit was moving. And I know that's kind of visceral and odd and vague, but just started singing into the moment. I mean, I think that's one of the great things that we do is like we always want to err on the side of space. Like we come in with our set list and we're like, okay, let's let's hit these songs. But it's like that's a core value of Housefires, because things don't go according to plan. And like God is a living, breathing spirit and God. And so we just want to create room for him to do what he does. But yeah, that song was birthed out of one of those moments where I just felt like God was doing something unique in the room. And I just always want to follow that, follow that rabbit, and just started singing into what I was feeling and seeing, and almost just like a prayer.
Let my life be a song that sings your name louder and louder, louder and louder. Oh, let my life be a drink poured out, to the world, to show them you, Jesus, to show them you, Lord. Oh, let the fragrance of your worship rise to Jesus. Yeah, yeah. Let it rise, let the fragrance of your heart lift your soul, lift your heart to heaven.
My daughter Hazel, who is just about to turn 11 months old in a week, just pure joy, man. She's just always got this scrunchy smile and just always laughing and just about to start walking and all the things. I mean, we're just, man, that's been another thing about the pandemic, just being home, which was such a gear change for me because it was actually going to be a heavy travel year with the band, but also some solo stuff and ministry stuff. But it's just been so great to be at home with my wife and my daughter. And other than that, gosh, NBA playoffs, my God. Thank you, Lord, that they're back. Oh, I was so bummed, like such a sports geek when everything got shut down. Like, I know that's very privileged of me to say, but I was just like, sports are going away. Like, and I'm a huge LeBron fan for the record. So cheer for the Lakers, hoping they're going all the way, but have just been loving that there's games on every night. And yeah, that's just brought me a lot of joy, just being here at home.
Give me a fresh, fresh fire. Give me a fresh, fresh fire. I want what you desire. I'm gonna burn for you. Give me a fresh, fresh fire. Give me a fresh, fresh fire. I want what you desire.
Something I've been learning is we just need to learn how to love our neighbors. And so going through all the health protocols and making sure that, we're distanced, and whether we think we've been exposed to the virus or not, we're going to mask up, and we're very controversial things, right? And I think something I've seen that we need to learn to just live in and walk in the way Jesus is, loving our neighbors. I'm really glad that the church is learning that, maybe now more than ever. We're going to love our neighbors. We're going to follow these protocols. Yes, we're going to continue to worship, but we want it to be a safe place. So yeah, neighbor love, that's kind of been my heart throughout this. Even though I don't understand, I'm not an epidemiologist or a microbiologist, but just I'm going to do whatever I can and err on that side to protect those around me.
It's a bread you give me, fullness of joy, unending mercy, new every morning, garments of praise, fullness of joy, unending mercy, new every morning.
That was Housefires. Make sure to check out their music wherever you get your music. Stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback.
Focus on me if you see me. Do you see me? I just wish you would look at me. Focus on me if you see me. Do you see me? I just wish you would look at me.
You're listening to Thomas Heaton. Song is Focus. Okay, it's time for your feedback. Last week for the question of the week, Jesse told us his awkward Uber story about he wanted the quiet ride. So the driver turned down the radio and started asking him invasive questions. It got us thinking about uncomfortable Uber situations. So for the question of the week, we asked you your worst Uber stories, most awkward, funny, memorable. You hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and you also sent us messages on the Relevant Magazine Instagram account. Here are a few of our favorites.
Kevin said he was making a delivery for Uber Eats to an apartment, and there were about 8 people sitting on the sofa. The girl that opened the door seemed kind of surprised and said, "Zaxby's delivers now? I was in jail for too long, I guess." It's like, the world's changed. You can get someone to pick up your Zaxby's.
He's living in a
Zaxby's.
utopia. Zaxby's.
Yeah,
It comes right to your door. Yeah.
Ashley said this. She said, "Shaved my legs once in the back of an Uber. Time crunch. Am I right, ladies?"
No,
you are wrong.
No,
I love it.
no. Imagine being the next person and be like, "What's all these prickly things all over me?"
Gross.
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys 3 scenarios. I want you to tell me which one is worse. If you're on a plane or you're in an Uber,
yeah.
okay, and the person next to you, you have to choose one of these: shaving legs, flossing their teeth, or violently flossing their teeth, or clipping their toenails. You have to pick one.
Toenails.
You're taking
Worse.
toenail
Yes.
clipping.
Flossing all day. Toenails and hair will get on you. Flossing will not.
Flossing will too, but you pop.
Oh, wait,
Dude,
wait,
Pieces of food and blood going everywhere.
You didn't say popping.
Yeah,
Wait,
like-
time out. I said the wrong thing. I said the wrong thing. Toenails grosses me out.
Yeah,
so
no.
that's out. That's what
out.
I picked
I'm
the
good
wrong
on
thing.
all
You
of
have to
them.
choose. You have to choose one: flossing, violently flossing, toenail clipping, or leg shaving. If you had to choose in
leg
the Uber,
shaving, dog. I'm going leg shaving.
I'm picking leg shaving. I've done that a lot, and it's okay.
You're seeing little
I'm
chunks
seeing-
fly in the air, sort of a
and
thing.
blood droplets and everything.
leg,
I told you, aggressively flossing.
Maybe that's the question of the week.
All right, so
All right,
Rodriguez says, "I was in Chicago for the first time with a group full of pastors and church planners. Traffic stopped the vehicle, and all of a sudden, at the corner of my eye, I see someone riding naked on their bike. And then wave after wave of more naked bike riders came through.
What were they at?
And we were in the
was
middle.
on set of the new Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And it says, of the naked bike ride that has become pretty popular over the years, the pastors and their wives were all awkward. But what made it worse was that our Uber driver pulls out his phone and starts recording and says, 'I just found myself some new material.' And we all busted out laughing. Dang, Rodrigo, your Uber driver was a freak.
Lord.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, credit to Lyft here. Bethany replied to our question of the week on Twitter, and she tells her story about trying to take a Lyft to Disney. The driver wouldn't let them put the stroller in the trunk, said they had too many people. They didn't. The stroller was thrown on the ground. Lollipops went flying everywhere. Apparently, they crammed their stroller full of lollipops. It was so sad. Ended up, they had to take a 45-minute bus ride. Credit to Lyft. Lyft replied to her, said, "We're so sorry to hear about this. Please DM us. We want to look into it." Like, they want to take care of her.
That's
Good for them.
what's
Oh,
up.
nice. Good customer service.
Because she didn't even tag Lyft. They're just scrolling Bethany's feed looking for any bad stories, I guess. Anyway. All right. Well, there's a lot more feedback where that came from. Go check it out on the Relevant Podcast Twitter account. It's pretty funny. A lot of them happened in Florida, I'm noticing. I don't know what that
Florida's
says.
another planet.
Yeah, we got a lot of hornets around here. Okay. It's time for
Editorial question of the week. Say.
At the beginning of the show, Jesse told us about his family's predicament. They can't go as the Avengers again. He needs to find a timely, culturally relevant 2020
It's not going to bum everybody out.
costume. Yeah. A non-bummer.
Yeah.
That's the question of the week. We want to know, what are your 2020 creative Halloween costume ideas? Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, or you can message us or post on the episode page or the episode post on the Relevant Magazine Instagram account. I have no idea. I'll probably just go as an adult again.
Oh, I'm
going as
gonna
a teen mom.
I'm gonna think.
I can't believe my daughter said that. I was like, but she didn't even know. It was like so sad that she was just being like what I am. She wasn't trying to be
It's
mean.
so cute. It's so cute, though.
It was, yeah.
That's funny. Well, many thanks to Housefires for joining us. Follow them on Instagram at house_fires. And while you're online doing things, why not check out relevantmagazine.com? We just launched, I told you last week, we launched Relevant News, right? The video series. We also just debuted season 2 of the Darius Daniels podcast on the Relevant Podcast Network. Go check it out. He has some great guests. The interview in the first episode that he did with Rich Rickerson Jr., I mean, it was like taking notes level deep. It was incredible.
That's what's up.
It really was. It was amazing. Go check it out. You can check out the entire Relevant Podcast Network, all of our shows, including Relevant News, including the Darius Daniels podcast, and of course this show at relevantmagazine.com. All right. On that note, we'll wrap it. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Jamie Ivey.
I'm Derek Miner.
We will see you on Friday. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Carol Baskins.
Relevant Podcast Network.